Last unit of the course, we shall look at goal setting. Goals are important in every organization and even in our individuals' life, private life. When you set goals for yourself, they tend to become the compass that directs your behavior. Once you set goals and you are committed to the goals, it determines your behavior because you want to achieve the goal. In this topic, we shall look at the difference between goals and plans, the types of goals we have, approaches to goal setting, and steps in goals setting. Now, what's the difference between a goal and a plan? A goal is a desired outcome or target, and they guide us in our decision making or the type of action that we want to take. The plans are, I would say, strategies that outline how our goals are to be achieved. And so, when we have a plan, when we have a goal, you must have a means to achieve the goal, which is resource allocation, that is a plan. And then when to achieve the goal, the schedules, and then all the necessary things, the behaviors that you need to put up, the things you want to avoid, and any other thing that will help you to achieve the goal. So we can say that a goal can be a part of a plan. At the beginning of talk about plans, and we spoke about planning. I thought that planning involves what we want and how to achieve it. And so over here, we have in a way we have broken planning to two. For goals, one part that is the what we want, and then the how. That is the plan that we want to use to achieve the goal. Now we have financial goals that are related to financial performance of the organization, and then strategic goals, that is what an organization wants to achieve within a certain period. So there are two main ways of setting goals. We have the traditional goal setting and then management by objectives. In the traditional goal setting, the goal is set by top management because they know, in quote and unquote, what is best for the organization. They look at the bigger picture of the organization, what we call the strategic goal. And then, so when we're talking about plan, we spoke about breadth. And then in the breadth, we spoke about the scope of the plan. And so at that level, at the scope level, at the one side, so we have the strategic aspect, and then we have the operational aspect. And so this one comes, this goal here, the goal comes from the organization, top managers, and then they are sent down to the various levels for implementation. Even though when it gets to the various levels, they also have the operations, or say operational goals that they break into their specific levels for them to be able to achieve them. And then, but then there are limits to traditional goal setting. Sometimes, because lower managers are not involved in the determination of the goals, interpretation becomes difficult. That's why I say it is clouded with biases as lower managers try to interpret the broad goals set by top managers. That means that people will decide to use their understanding from different angles based on how they see it. And so these type of goals are not clear, because let's say that at a certain level, at the production level, they may see the goal differently. At the marketing level or sales level, they may see the goal differently. And so it becomes a problem. But then, in most organizations, it is done in connivance or in consultation with the tactical and operational managers. So this is how the traditional goal setting looks like. Then we have management by objectives. And here we are trying to look at a process of setting mutually agreed upon goals and using those, the same goals we have set to evaluate performance. And so MBOs have 4 elements. We have goal specificity, we have participative decision making, an explicit time period, and then performance feedback. So over here, instead of using goals to make sure employees are doing what they are supposed to be doing, MBO uses goals to motivate employees as well. And how is it done? We'll talk about that later. So the appeal is that MBOs focus on employees working to accomplish goals they have a hand in setting. That is why we have participative decision making. Because once they participate, it motivates them to own that goal they have set for themselves. And so, what are the steps in setting goals by the MBO criterion? So first, we need to know the overall objectives and strategies of the organization. They are formulated. And so these major objectives are located among divisional and departmental use. Every division, every department may have its own specific goal, which is set within the overall objectives and strategies of the organization. And so unit managers will collaborate with their managers. So unit managers will just then also look at specific objectives that are in tune with what they do at that unit, within that unit. And so these are set with all departmental members. So for example, at the university, we have the executive committee will set a goal for the overall university. And then it comes down to the college levels. The college management committee will also break it down. It goes to the faculty, and then it comes to the department. So at the end of the day, each department has its specific objectives, which are derived from the overall objective of the university. It is done collaboratively collaboratively. In other words, all the members of the departments sit and determine the goal. And then, so we have the action plans define how the goals are supposed to be achieved. Once they are set, then we have the action plans. As we said earlier, the plan considers the means to achieve the goals we have set for ourselves. And so then, once the plans are designed, we then actionalize the plans so that we can achieve the goals that we have set. And then we also monitor the progress towards objectives periodically. Because we need to monitor, just like the planning, we need to monitor to see whether the planning process are being followed accordingly or people are deviating from what has been decided. And so we need to periodically review, monitor, review, and evaluate what we have set for ourselves, provide feedback, and then determine whether there's a need to review it, the need to maintain it, or the need to change, modify it, such that it will suit the determinants or the environmental conditions prevailing at that particular time. And so, successful achievement of it is reinforced by performance-based rewards. So that when we have MBOs, normally a person is rewarded after the person has achieved that objective. And so what are the steps in goal setting? Says review the organization's mission and purpose, which I've already explained. Then we have evaluate available resources. Why do we need to evaluate? Remember when we were talking about organizing, said that we need to have all the structures, the resources must be available so that we'll be able to achieve the goals. If we set the goal for ourselves and we don't have the resources, then it becomes a problem. For instance, the university has been closed down because of this coronavirus. And the university says we should go online. The university says so because of the fact that there are mechanisms that we have put in place to ensure that lecturers can interact with students online. That is why this goal has been set. Otherwise, if there were no plans and the university said we should go online to teach, that objective or goal would not be realistic. It will be baseless because there will be no means to achieve that effort. Then said determine the goals individually or with input from others. In most cases, we say participative decision making. Managers will sit with individuals, determine the goals that affect them, and then once they are part of the decision making process, we own the goal, and then we want to work towards it. So goals reflect desired outcomes and should be congruent with the organization mission and with the goals in other organizational areas. We have said that there's a need for consistency. It must be derived from the organizational goals, and it should not work to disrupt the goals of other departments within the organization. They must move in tandem. There must be consistency. There must be relatedness. And so, like the plans, you write the goals, you communicate, you discuss, and everybody becomes aware of the goals that have been set to be achieved. Then we review results as time goes on, as said already, and then we develop, the plans are developed and the goals are pursued. Thank you. This is the end of the entire discussion. Thank you for your cooperation. I want to believe that you are going to read this and then use the reading list to supplement what has been given to you. The good student is the one who will look for other extra literature to complement what the lecturer has been given. So I plead with you to look at the literature, read extra, and add to what has been given. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.